Hello everyone, my name is Samira Hossain. I'm a co-author of the paper Measuring Circularity Index of Single-Use Plastic Products, about which I will be giving a presentation today. Here's an outline of our paper. At first, we go over the literature to assess the existing circularity indices. The state of the plastic sectors in Bangladesh will be shortly reviewed. Then the inadequacy of indicators will be discussed, followed by a screening for appropriate indicators for plastic industry and the way we can develop an integrated framework in the later stages. A circular economy, which is also called a circularity model, it's a model of production and consumption which involves reusing, repairing, refurbishing, and recycling of existing materials and products as long as possible. To align with the sustainability goals, the current chemical industries must drive towards circular system. Circular economy indicators, or circularity indicators as they are called, they measure how circular a system is. That is, it is a measure of assessing the production and consumption patterns, recycling, and the subsequent impact of the industry or the scale or system scale that we're considering on the economy, environment, and society. Depending on the scale of the system which we are determining our circularity index, there are mainly three types, or we can say three levels of indicators: macro indicators, meso indicators, and micro indicators. So macroeconomic indicators describe the characteristics of a country or a larger region, mostly in relation to interactions with the rest of the world through some trade flows or exchange. So meso-level indicators are a larger scale, and meso-level indicators and micro-level indicators are both considering a larger system. Microeconomic indicators, they describe economic, environmental, or social performance of a city, product, or a particular product line of a company. So micro-level indicators are a more focused type of circularity indicator. So as we can see that these circularity indicators are very important to measure or to integrate in the current business models, and we have seen successful levels of integration in several EU countries already. So these successes actually show us that the deployment of these indicators is actually possible and quite practical as well. Now let's go into the plastic industry. The plastic industry worldwide has become a pressing problem to manage. Uh, the plastic pollution is no longer limited to human, as we can see that it's reaching the aquatic environment, and it has a collective impact on the overall environment, regardless of developing or developed country. So in developing countries, and specifically as I'm from Bangladesh, I will be painting a picture from Bangladesh perspective. So in Bangladesh, the plastic industry is a big deal, and it is actually increasing in size as well as economic perspective. So currently there are 5,000 plastic manufacturing units which exist in Bangladesh, and 98% of them are actually small to medium enterprises. So these are very decentralized chemical industries in Bangladesh. Currently, due to COVID, we have seen that an alarming rise in plastic production and consumption can be seen in all over the world, and Bangladesh is no exception to this problem. Uh, while these plastic manufacturing companies actually have several product lines, they produce different types of plastics. The most problematic and the most unmanaged one is the single-use plastics. In fact, single-use plastics have a very low recycling ratio in Bangladesh as well, and they're very difficult to recycle as well. And several fundamental studies are actually going on into upcycling single-use plastic products into more valuable products, and also there have been several studies in recycling them. So in the future, we might see the plastic industries are uh, changing their business models or changing how this single-use plastic is ending up. Is it becoming a more valuable product, or is it becoming part of the recycle stream? So in the future, as our business models will be integrating itself with circularity concepts, we might need to measure and assess the circularity of single-use products, how this particular product line is being recycled or reused. So in this study, we have focused on particularly single-use plastic products. And since it is a particular product and a particular product of several product lines, we think that micro-level indicators will be more appropriate to express the circularity of this particular problem. So for assessing the circularity of single-use plastic products, we have assessed existing micro-level circularity index to find out what would be the suitable circularity indicators in this case. At present, we see in the literature that there is a large number of circularity indicators which exist. To this date, there has been reported that 61 circularity economy indicators exist, and these include all the micro, macro, and meso level indicators. The problem with the huge amount of indicators is that some of them can be more suitable for a specific type of industry, and it has been suggested by several researchers, several institutions on their particular context. So as we have assessed that a single indicator is not enough for mapping or for understanding the full circularity picture of single-use plastic products, and there is a need to integrate several types of indicators in a particular framework to completely assess this state of circularity. So in the next section, my other co-authors will go over how we have screened these several indicators and how we can integrate them and make a viable framework. Thank you.
Thank you for giving me the platform. I am Afridi and I will represent the framework and indicator section of the presentation. In our approach of measuring circularity, we have divided the indicators into three categories: economic, environmental, and health indicators. In economic indicator, we have considered resource, energy, and profit, where in environmental indicator, we have considered environmental fate factor and ecological effect factor. In health indicator, consumer and worker health effects have been considered separately. In Journal of Cleaner Production, we have identified 16 indicators relating to circularity, among which we have sorted out some measurable indicators and categorized them in economical, environmental, and health sections. In economic indicator section, we have filtered out 8 indicators. The recycling benefit ratio, that is based on life cycle assessment, which describes the potential environmental savings attained from recovering the product and environmental exploitation. The Circular Economy Index estimates circularity from relationship between value of material, combined end of life, and gross value. The Material Circularity Indicator is developed by Ellen MacArthur Foundation. It estimates circularity from utility function and linear flow index. Circular Economy Toolkit. It uses product life cycle steps to formulate, question, and determine least and most ideal circularity choice. Product level circularity. It is the ratio between recirculated economic value and total product value. Value-based resource efficiency. It considers product and service value with environmental, economic, and social policies. Recycling indicator sets. It is an weight-based approach employed by WEEE. Reuse potential indicator. It is based on resource-based paradigm that determines reuse potential qualitatively. In environmental section, we have considered 4 indicators. The circular economy performance indicator, that is the ratio of actual environmental benefit to ideal environmental benefit according to quantity. The longevity indicator determines number of times a resource is used in initial use, refurbishment, and recycling. The wastewater circonomics, it is mostly discussed in macro level of circularity but can also be considered in micro level. In environmental and sustainability indicator, we measure circularity based on surplus and disposal rate. The health indicator section is based on life cycle assessment, where we have considered worker health as well as consumer health and food grade fall. The industry worker health toxicity score is a sum of product of working hours and health effect function. The human toxicity score represents consumer health impact. The leakage of additives and other materials and their impact represents the food grade fall. The following slides will be represented by my friend Ronnie.
Hello everyone, this is Mohammad Rakib Hassan Rani from Bangladesh University of Engineering and Technology, and I'll be conducting the next part of our presentation. This part mainly focuses on the formula we have developed to calculate circularity. The overall circularity indicator contains economic indicator, environmental indicator, and health indicator, which is the most unique part of our indicator, as till now no circularity indicator is incorporated with health impact. Now let's start with the economic indicator. It contains 2 impact terms, as we can see, IW and IC. Here IW indicates the recovery of target material. It's actually a measure of recycle fraction. Then the term IC, it indicates the closure of material cycles incorporated with profit margin. Also here A1 or A2 are the parameters which are yet needed to be determined. Then comes the environmental indicator in number 2, which is basically calculated from ETS, ecotoxicity score. This score will be calculated from the amount of chemical released to the environment and respective toxicity. Finally, in number 3, the health part. In health indicator, the first part is consumer health impact. This is found from human toxicity score. This HTS is calculated from leaching of materials from the products we use in day-to-day life, or the products we use in different stages of our life. And then comes the worker health impact. This will be calculated from the amount of exposure as well as the working hours at the industry. So from this page we can see that we haven't finalized the composite circularity indicator yet, as due to COVID situation there was complexity in getting the industrial data, so we couldn't find the most important data for the indicator, and that's why the calculation is not finalized yet. So at the conclusion we can say that it is evident that a framework based on integrated approach is really needed to calculate circularity, especially for the plastic industries, as it's one of the most important challenges of the present world to make the plastic industries circular. Though our work isn't completed yet, I'm pretty much confident that with a little time and data, my team will be able to formulate a composite circularity indicator combining economic, environmental, and health impacts. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.